All right, welcome on to the Bold 1%.
What's up, Peter?
What's up, man?
Thanks for having me.
Yes, of course. So I've been wanting to have you for a second. I invited you last time. You ghosted me.
I just flaked out, didn't show. I don't remember what happened.
So what's up with that? I'm just kidding. No, I get it. How has it been with the new agent?
Good.
Brad,
Yeah,
right?
Good memory. It's awesome, dude. He got his first buyer under contract in his first month.
No
For him.
way. We should get him on here as like a rookie.
That'd be cool.
You know?
He'd love it.
Okay, so what is your goal with him? Like, we're gonna go into this whole podcast is about the holiday harvest.
Okay.
That's like the message, overall message. But we also I like to go into like each agent and like find out what's going on with them and what's happening. So let's start with Brad because he's like a new development for you, especially. It's like you're a dad now or something.
Kind of feels like that, dude.
Yeah.
In the office, I'm like, oh, I need to tell you what to do right now. Like, I'm doing my work and doing my thing. I'm like, hey, Brad, go do this.
It's like when I see your posts on Instagram, I'm like, it's like you're a proud dad. It's awesome.
Honestly, I'm not a parent yet, so I don't know what that feels like, but I can assume or guess it's similar to what it is. I'm like, yeah, go, buddy, you're doing great.
Like you posted about like him, you're like first month or something getting a transaction, and then you posted me after. You're like, he worked so hard. I was like, now you're like a mom. Now you sound like
Come on, I made it sound cooler than that. No, but social media, dude, I just have an issue with social media where everything seems so easy or life's so great all the time. You don't show the behind the scenes grind to get that success you're showing off, right? So for him, like, dude, he was door knocking countless days. He was cold calling. He's still cold calling lists. He's doing all sorts of things that are just grinding it out when you don't hear like the people that, cuss him out or slam the doors in his face or whatever. So he earned that one, So anyways, I know you're just giving me crap, but I want to shout out. I was like, dude, it takes hard work, especially in the beginning days of being a realtor. Like, you got to build that momentum curve. It takes time, So just seeing him start is fun.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And it's probably fun to see like the early stages of like something that you've been building for 10 years.
Dude, it's weird.
It's like your Rome is already built, but like his is just like one brick by brick. And like, it's kind of exciting when it's like every call could be like his very first client or like very first transaction. And like every door knock is like, it's just like also new and fresh. So do you feel like that's kind of like revitalized you or like changed your approach at all? Like seeing, because everyone always says like the greats go back to the basics all the time, right? Like even Alex Hormozy like quotes that in his 100 million leads, $100 million leads book. He's like, it's not always about like finding a new strategy. It's about just like really the grind of like the basics.
100%.
So do you feel like you've been like reminded of the basics or do you feel like you already knew the basics and it's just like, what do you feel?
No, it's a great question. It's definitely been a good reminder to at least like, I'm going to call it the energy in the beginning, the excitement, the freaking just pure testosterone drive. Like he's just hungry, man.
Yeah.
And I am still hungry, but I can get away with being a little bit lazier these days where referrals are just coming in or it's a little bit more systematized. I can get away with a lot more, right? So it's a good reminder not to get lazy and not to let the guard down despite referrals coming in or success still being there.
Yeah.
So that's been helpful. For him, it's funny to watch just because I love what you're saying about don't get cute is the term I've heard that what I refer to that as. It's like, don't reinvent the wheel, right? It's all about basics and I'm grateful. I'm not perfect by any means, but I feel like I've done a pretty good job at staying in the basics. Maybe it's just because I don't have a high IQ. I don't know, but it's like, you just put in X, you get Y. You do that every time. That's what makes sense. So why am I going to go try and add another variable to that? Just stay here. Do 10 more of those, right? So for him, it's actually kind of been like reverse psychology where he's super hungry. He's new. So he's thinking, I could do this. I could do that. I could do that. Here's this idea. I'm like, dude, calm down. Just write 10 handwritten notes right now. Just call 10 people. That's all you have to do today.
Wow.
Or 30 people, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Where he's like, no, I can go talk to this attorney with this spiel and then these CPs over here. I'm like, bro, it's not going to work. You can try it, but you might be grinding for a long time before at least do a deal. Or you just go call your SOI, which is a lot easier,
Wow.
So it's almost been reversed from like, I love your ideas. I love the excitement. Stay there, but come back down to some groundedness and let's just start running.
That is awesome. Okay. So it's like kind of like how in the beginning stages, like the world's a possibility, but at the same time, you're kind of like bringing him in and being like, really what you need to do is just keep doing the exact same thing.
I don't know. I love like, what do you call it? Like philosophy, right? So I feel like the world, I'm on this kick right now saying the world's too complicated. It just is. Everyone wants to overcomplicate the process or think that it's about the next new business idea that's going to make you a billionaire or whatever. It's like, you might be that guy. You might be the next Elon Musk. I'm not saying don't try, But unless you have an idea you're confident in, just stay simple. Just take the blinders of like new, fresh, shiny off and just stick with what we know has worked for hundreds and hundreds of years.
So how do you feel like, because you said like, maybe, I don't know how much you'd attribute your business to referrals now.
Yeah.
But how long did it take to build a referral business?
That's a good question. I mean,
and also, wait, if you wouldn't mind stating, like, how much percentage of your business is referrals?
Honestly, so 90 to 100% of my business is referrals.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty much all. I don't pay for marketing. I've dabbled with some Zillow before and I've had some success, but again, I just have a style I prefer, which is relationship building and working with people that are referred, so it's a bit warmer, or they already kind of know, like, and trust me to some degree. It's just it's like working with you. It's a more fun interaction. It makes my life way more enjoyable versus trying to earn the cold lead and show them your worth and all that when you don't know them. It's just like, I'm good. However, so that's my personal business. We have started investing in leads for Brad because I got to, kickstart his business and give him more opportunities. So we do invest in some leads now. I'm going to keep pushing that and hopefully keep building that momentum with maybe some other agents on board at some time. I don't want to be a huge team by any means. It's just not of interest, but maybe a small, assassin squad would be kind of fun.
I
just
love
to help each other
it.
out.
It's like a Black Ops, the Black Ops squad. Is there a name for the team? Is it the Shank Group?
Yeah, Shank Group.
That's
Shank Group
awesome. That's awesome. So what in you, because like you've been a solo agent, you've been a solo agent for like 10 years.
Yeah, about.
Right? So what in you shifted? Was it just his eyes?
Chance. It wasn't even
Fell
like
in love. I'm just kidding.
in a different way. In a
That
weird way.
parental. I'm just kidding.
Brad, my little buddy. No, Brad, dude, Brad's like 6'3", 250 pounds. He's bigger than I am.
Yeah,
So
for everyone that doesn't know, Brad is like a football player and massive and has such a commanding presence on social media videos.
No, he's great. He's better than I am. But his voice is so like, I'm Brad, and this is the house we're showing. Like, bro, you're like, you're strong. I like it.
Brad is a Brad. You know what I mean? Like,
Brad is
but
Brad.
like, and like a great Brad. You know what I mean?
Awesome, man.
But
yeah.
man.
So I honestly, when I met him, it was kind of chance. I wasn't looking to necessarily build a team. I've tried a team before. Just didn't have what I'm going to say the aligned individuals for the team I'm trying to build. So it just didn't really pan out to anything. So the story is I was sitting in one of my own open houses and had this lender walk in, and I give him crap about this now because he actually distracted me from 2 potential unrepresented buyers.
Oh.
2 reasons you do an open house. 1, to sell the listing you're doing an open house on.
Yeah.
And 2, to find unrepresented buyers that you can help on either that house or a different one, right? That's why agents do open houses. So the lender walks in. It's his, marketing strategy to come in, try and pitch me to get me to use him as a lender, right? Which I appreciate the hustle.
Yeah.
But as he's doing that, trying to help mine and his business, he hinders it by distracting me from people that were in my open house at that moment I had talked to previously, let him go through the house. I was going to like catch them before they left.
Yeah.
But as he and I are talking, they just walk right out behind him. We're just like, this is why I don't normally talk to lenders. They say, nope, go away. I'm good. Like, I got my people. Leave me alone.
Yeah.
But for some reason, I talked to this guy. He was super cool. He's a younger dude as well. He's ended up being Brad's best friend they're back from, I think, Minnesota's where they're from. So long story short, we got to talk, and his name's Andrew. We were chit-chatting. He mentioned his best friend's an agent here, just got his license, brand new, fresh in the biz. Something in my brain just went, click, I want to talk to this guy, I don't know why. I just kind of just felt it came out of my mouth, and I'm just like, let me talk to this guy. I want to see if I can help him and, see if he's going to find the right brokerage and whatever guidance I can provide, right? So anyways, talked to him, and he's got to know him. I was like, dude, you're hungry. Like, you're actually committed. He was working at a bank at the time. He put his 2 weeks in to go full-time real estate. Didn't know how he was going to be successful, but he just trusted himself.
Wow,
that's
crazy.
Yes, I want to work with you. That's cool.
So you liked it because it was like he was showing that he was like all in. So he was just like super hungry. Whatever happened to Brad's friend?
He's still a lender, so he works for Zion's Bank.
Okay.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's a good referral source between Brad and him. They're helping each other out.
Okay, so they're working together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yep. So
that's way awesome. But you don't work with him, probably.
I mean, I give him crap. I'm like, Andrew, I like you a lot, and I already have my client or my lenders that I refer business to, so it's going to take a lot to get me to send them to you now.
Yeah, and you probably have built that up for a while, where like to the point where they also probably give you business.
Yeah,
well.
a little bit. Yeah.
Right. Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're gonna shift now.
Okay.
Since it's Christmas, it's the holiday season.
Holiday harvest. Is that what you call it?
Holiday harvest.
All right.
So let's talk about the client side of things and what you do for your clients in this season. And then also we're going to talk about pricing strategy as well. But first question, it's the holiday season. It's awesome, right? But a lot of people are really busy. There's a lot going on. How do you stay relevant in these months where typically everything slows down?
Make it about the clients, man. So my strategy of like what I call the simple things we talked about a little bit earlier is just making events, gifts, whatever thing in your business about your clients. So we just got done doing our client appreciation event, pictures with Santa last weekend.
Oh, nice. Okay, wait. So how did that go?
It was great. Yeah, really good.
So walk me through the process. Like, why do that? Like, because do you really see a return doing that? Like, what is the return you see?
It's not about the return. Okay. Honestly, I mean, yes, obviously we're in real estate to sell homes, and that's what you hope your actions lead to eventually. But again, my preferred model isn't about doing something today to get a lead or a closing tomorrow. It's about building the business, the relationships, I should say, over the course of time. And you cross your fingers, pray to baby Jesus, people call you when they're ready. Like, that's my strategy, right? So
yeah,
when I think about, business and the effort I put in, the actions I take, what am I trying to accomplish? I'm trying to close some homes. How do I do that? I want to work with people who, again, know, like, and trust me, or see me as they like something about what I do, and they want to work with me, right? It's not me chasing them down. They're kind of coming to me, and then we mutually say, yeah, let's do it. The best way I've found to do that meshes with my personality is giving them value first, giving them things that they actually want. It's not about me. It's not some swag with my logo on it. That's saying it's like a passive aggressive, hey, use me. Here's a free hat, but it's about me. It's, hey, here's an event for your kids. Yeah. You're getting free photos from us. We're going to take them for you. Professional photographers there. We're going to send them to you. We don't expect anything from you. Come hang out. Have a great day. We had cookie decorating as well, and a hot chocolate stand. Awesome. This whole little thing. And the kids love it. They have fun. The kids, it's actually the best part, was like seeing the kids' faces light up. I don't know why, because I'm not a dad yet, but I didn't think about this. But the kids walking like, is Santa here? I'm like, yeah, he's upstairs, dude. Like, I forgot about, like, you're going to be really excited. This is great, Yeah. So being genuine with what you're giving people, making it about them, not yourself. Yeah. And just trusting that you'll have support throughout your business.
100%. Because, like, in the end, nobody really wants to be sold to, but, like, people do want value. Yeah. Like, they want value in their life. Yeah. And so if you can provide value through, like, Santa or something like that. Okay, so, but my next question, follow up with that. How do you decide what is valuable? Like, because there's like Santa photos. There's so many other things that you could provide value for. Maybe like movie theaters. I've heard of movie theaters before. Yeah. How do you decide what's going to be valuable for your clients?
I put myself in their shoes and think about what would I want? What would I want to receive? So a good example is like email newsletters, for example. I hate them. I cannot stand them because most are so generic. Yeah. Most are from lenders as an agent, obviously, but I get 10 different newsletters I'm opting out of every single day where it's like, hey, our new loan product. Hey, the market interest rates are doing this, which that's helpful information, but I can find that myself. So it's not a big deal. Yeah. Versus like a lender of mine has, me and my rental properties on HomeBot, which I'm sure you've heard of HomeBot. That's that sends you a monthly update on your home's value. And I actually care about that. So I care about that newsletter, but not the other ones. Why? Because there's something actually tangible that's interesting for my life in the HomeBot versus the generic newsletter, right? Yeah. So I just kind of reverse engineer that and think, okay, if I was on the receiving end of said event, said email, what would I want to see or experience? And I try and do that for my people,
Interesting. Okay. And so like, how do you go about gathering that information? But that's so true. I'm reading the Alex Hormozi book and he talks about how like, creating webinars or something, and he's like, I hate webinars. Like, he's like,
so long and generic.
He's like, I freaking hate webinars so much. And then he like paid $10,000 or 25,000 grand for a webinar, and he didn't get any value from it. And then he's like running ads. It's like $150 per day, and he did that for 3 days, 0 leads. And he's like, what am I doing? But then he saw an ad that was like, it was like a case study or something like, this is how you can take your webinar to like twice as much leads. And he clicked on it and he was like, wait, so why did I click on this? So how do you create like clickbaitable events? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because you did also a water park event, right? Yeah. So what was like and it stormed out, right?
We got lucky this year. So I've been rained out multiple years before. And it's just like been a thing on my clients like, great, you plan an event, it's going to get rained out. Like, come on.
That's amazing. And it's not always about like the ROI you see immediately. And especially probably with long-term clients, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, how do you gauge how much to devote to like these events? Because like technically you could be doing an event every month.
Sure.
Right? Or like twice a month or once a year. But you do them like I think like 3 events a year or something like that.
Yeah,
so
3 or 4. So once a
3
quarter.
or 4. So like yeah, how do you decide? Where did you see that? How do you decide to do that?
Yeah. I mean, it's not my original idea. I can't take credit for it. So I just learned from other agents when I was first being mentored in the business and saw the events they did. And one of my original mentors in the business here in Utah does a Corn Bellies event, which I still do to this day, and kind of saw from her. I got my first exposure, like, oh, you rent out this venue or provide free tickets to your clients. That's pretty cool. That makes sense. People appreciate it. You're hugging because you're friends now. It's more than just a business or a transaction. So I just kind of rode on coattails of other successful agents when I was new, and I've continued on.
Okay, something that you said really stuck out to me is you're engaging with your clients in not a business setting.
Right.
Because like as a real estate agent, most of your transactions with your clients are going to be when they're buying or selling houses, probably, right? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You're probably not like friends with all of them, like close friends with all of them where you're going to like board games. But having that interaction outside, do you feel like it changes their perception of you?
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%.
How so?
I mean, it's a friendship rather than just my realtor, right? I've had people say, hey, it's Tyler, my friend and my realtor, which I'm like, yes, that's cool. That's really cool.
The fact that they said friend first.
Yeah, right. So that just shows like, okay, we're doing something right. Not like, we're not trying to like manipulate a friendship by any means. Like, no, we just want to provide good value.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to send us, your transaction when you're buying or selling, or a friend or family member referral, we would love it, obviously, right? So.
And I think here's one thing to also keep in mind. Because like people have all different perceptions of like real estate and like the market itself. But it's kind of cool if you think about it in a completely different light, that real estate agents through their business are able to provide for their clients fun experiences.
It's a unique industry.
Because it's like, I think genuinely, maybe not all agents, but genuinely, I think you do care about your clients, right?
Appreciate that, yeah.
And because of like the business you're in and how you've set it up, you're able to provide them value. Well, like if that didn't exist, that value would never have been there.
Right.
But because like another transaction is created in this market, you're able to give back.
Yeah.
And some agents obviously like keep that for themselves, but some agents give that back and they see that even build more.
Sure, for sure. It's a really unique industry, and that's why I'm in it. Honestly, it's kind of, I don't know, not to get too philosophical on you, but it's just, I feel like I've been guided to this industry because it's a perfect match for my personality. I'm a unique person in my opinion, at least. I'm kind of a weird dude. I know that.
Oh, and mine too. Just kidding.
Peter has confirmed now. But I just don't like doing things the conventional way. So this is very cliche, but like the standard office job and work for the man or whatever, just like it makes me cringe out of my own, like crawl out of my own skin. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So like I've got to do something else, and real estate allows the freedom and flexibility to design it the way I want, but offer that value in a fun way. Like the Santa event, I had a lot of fun at. It's very satisfying. And after you're done, like I just accomplished something. Nothing like tangible. There's no award, but it's like that felt good.
Yeah.
And this is like I can justify as a business activity. Sold. Done. Let's do it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, I think, and so how do you, the way to stay busy in the holiday seasons, I mean, like Utah Valley is known to be just filled with trying to be busy. I saw this like reel that was like, I am working so hard to work so hard.
It's true.
Or like, I'm working so hard to look busy.
Yes.
So how do you, as an agent, where it's your business, you're an entrepreneur, really. That's like what you're an entrepreneur. How do you stay busy without just moving around?
I love
do you know
that
what I mean?
question.
Like,
I love that question.
Not just motion, but like,
I know exactly what you're saying. There's a term I've said multiple times where it's like people love glorifying being busy.
Yes.
It's like it's not glorious to just be busy if it's unproductive. It's actually a waste of your time and you're wasting your life.
Yeah.
And that infuriates me actually when I see that. So I not to be disrespectful, but there's a term for like back to real estate.
Yeah.
For those type of agents, water cooler agents is what they're referred to as. We go to the office, stand by the water cooler, shoot the shit for a minute with a few agents, and then go home. Like, what did you do to sell homes today? I'm confused. Just going to the office doesn't count. Just going to the gym doesn't mean you worked out. Like you got to actually put in the work, right? So for me, I guess the answer to that would be self-reflection on your activities and asking yourself, is this really leading, like, is this threading the needle forward? Yes or no? Again, keep it simple. I love simplicity. Yes or no questions. Is this getting my business forward? I can say 10.
That's a good line to keep.
Well, it's easy, right? 10 handwritten cards. I can justify, yes, that will thread my relationships forward, hopefully leading to more business. You don't guarantee, it's not guaranteed, right? But I just do it. Versus, I don't know, researching interest rates on Mortgage News Daily and then not posting anything about it. Does that thread the needle forward? Not really. It's helpful information to stay educated. Yes, it's a good thing, but that wasn't a money producing activity today. Yeah. So be very careful with what you're doing and making sure you're filling in the gaps,
Interesting. Yeah. I love that. I love that a lot. I do feel like it is very common in like any kind of like business to just be like, I got to move to feel productive and like feel that need in myself to like be productive by moving. But like, it doesn't actually, if you're just moving and running in a circle, you're not actually moving anywhere.
Dude, it's scary how easy it is to self-deceive.
Yes.
Like it's like, I say this as well. It's a belief of mine that we are honestly fighting against ourselves more than anything else.
Yes.
We're not fighting against the quality of our leads as much. We're not fighting against the market. We're fighting against ourselves. Because you can find your way if you're accountable to your actions and being clear and aligned to there. You can figure out a shifting market. You can figure out low quality leads and make them better, whatever, right? You can make progress. But if you're in deceit of yourself, thinking you're being productive, but you're not, there's no hope. Like you're just not going to be successful.
That's wild. So, okay. Some people, Zumba, ice baths, freaking cold plunges, the cold plungers, saunas, meditation. What is your reality check? Does that make sense? There's so many trends of like what you can do to better yourself. But what is your check on yourself? Maybe daily, monthly, weekly. What does that look like for you? How do you check yourself?
Good question.
Buy another car.
Buy new things. Yeah. No, dude, honestly, I'll be vulnerable with you for a minute. I'm currently regrouping in that category of my life.
Really?
It used to be super heavy meditation, yoga.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Things like that. I love that world. And for me, the answer to your question is meditation. When I just sit there in silence or just with some soft music playing, just like sit still, the world becomes clear. I feel great. I'm happy. I'm optimistic. I'm good.
Yeah.
For some reason, I'm entering a phase in my life where I was super heavy, almost had an identity out of like meditation and self-development, where it became a mask in a sense. And I've kind of ripped that off in recent years. So I don't want to be in self-deceit in a different way. But I've also gone to the other end where I'm not as consistent in doing said activities that are helpful. So I'm getting back on track to a balance point of saying, okay, I still need to meditate, go to some yoga classes, whatever you got to do to get mental health in a good, or keep it in a good state. Cause it's definitely not as great as it once was.
Yes.
So I have my moments where I'm like, okay, I gotta circle back around to.
No, yeah, meditation is huge. So I'm just getting into that world now, where I like try to wake up every morning, do a little meditation session, and it does like change your view and perspective. And I feel that the first like 2 or 3 months were super enlightful, but as you go longer and if you keep doing the same thing, it does just become another routine. It's like brushing your teeth, but like you don't really feel like you're actually getting the benefits anymore.
No.
So it is interesting how important it is to check yourself even in your checks.
For sure. I mean, it's just a whole multiple legs of conversation that we could go down with that. But I think it's growth and progress in anything. Like there's different forms of meditation. There's different levels of it. Right? I think meditation is the most important thing in life, in my opinion, to master. I'm not anywhere close. Yeah. But I think that's probably the best thing a person could do. So maybe the beginning stage is, yes, you've gotten to the point where you can quiet your thoughts for a minute and actually have some peace. But then the next stage is double the amount of time you can do that, or triple, or I don't know. There's a lot of practices we could go into.
What's the longest you've ever meditated?
I don't know. No idea.
You're saying triple. I was like, how long are you sitting there in silence?
I mean, think about it. I love this thought so much, actually. If I wasn't a real estate agent, I would be some form of like spiritual psychologist. You'd
be a guru? Like a shaved head guru?
No. I'll keep my hair.
Oh my gosh.
No, but think about this.
I'm just trying to picture you bald. Maybe in the edit we'll make you bald at that point. It's like
that'd be funny.
Snapchat filters.
Shut up. No, but think about this. We can go to the office and make 30 phone calls. We can come to the studio and film a podcast.
Yeah.
Most people cannot simply control their thoughts for more than 5 seconds. 10 if you're more experienced. Like we're talking 10 short seconds. You can't control your thoughts or tell your brain, like just have no thought.
Until you've actually tried, it's crazy how like uncontrolled your mind is.
Yes.
You're like, wow, my
And
mind
that's
is
the
psycho.
thing that governs our entire day and our actions and our businesses and our entire lives. And
Yeah.
I'll speak for myself right now. I'm not training it as consistently as I should. That doesn't make sense. Get back on track with that. That should be the main foundational base of my life, and then do everything else on top of that. You know?
Yeah, 100%.
Anyways, I love that thought.
I love it. Well, I think that's a wrap, honestly.
Dope.
How you feeling?
Great, dude. I love this. This was fun.
This is great. Well, thank you so much for coming on. Today we're with Brittany Blake. She has been a top producing agent for how many years?
8 years, going on 9.
Okay, 8 years, going on 9. That is amazing. Today we're going to discuss the holiday harvest.
Yes, we love the holidays.
Yes, because it is December 10th, right?
December 10th.
So if you have those paper chains, 15 days
Yep.
of chains left. Like a lot of the times in the holidays, people are kind of just like doing work, right? They're not actually like getting a lot done. How do you stay active, not just busy, in the holiday seasons? And then what do you do for your clients during these holiday seasons to like bring in that holiday spirit?
Right. So this is actually the best time to get in front of your clients and actually show how much you care for them.
Yeah.
There's so many different things that you can do. You can do pop buys. You can do gifts.
Pop buys.
Pop buys. Have you ever heard of pop
What is a
buys?
pop buy?
So pop by is like just having a little gift to go deliver to your client's house.
Oh, that's
Say,
so
"Hey, I have
awesome.
something to drop off to you. You get in front of them. You can have
Uh-huh.
a conversation, build that relationship.
Yeah.
Things that I like to do because I like to get in front of a mass and create even more value is I like to do events or client appreciation events. So, for example, we just did a photos with Santa, and we do it
So
every
fun.
year. Oh my gosh, we have an amazing turnout every year.
Okay, wait, how many like families do you have turn out?
Oh, we had, let's see, on our Eventbrite, I think we had almost 500 register.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh,
we had
that's
a huge turnout,
crazy.
so-
That's crazy.
So it was awesome. And it's not only that you're providing something for your clients, it's being able to, touch base with them again, because as we know, after you close, there's,
lot of-
we miss our clients. They're our friends now. They're
Yeah.
our family, right?
Yeah.
So just being able to get in front of them, but not only that, but it's beneficial in the way that, you can get referrals and people remember you. So for example, I have 3 referrals just from inviting,
That
to
is
the
amazing.
photos with Santa. Yeah.
So how did you foster those like referrals? How did like a big thing of businesses that have been in for more than 5 years is referral-based business, right?
Correct.
And I don't know how much you'd attribute your business to a referral-based business. Yeah, actually, how much?
Yeah, so-
how much would you like say is your business like leads are based on referral? Like what percentage?
I would say, referrals are about 65-70% of my business.
Okay.
So
That's
I mean, it's a
amazing.
huge portion, and the longer that you're in the industry, the more referrals that you get, right? The more clients that you have,
If
the more yes,
you're
if
good.
You're good.
Yes.
So that's the key, is to create value and deliver results,
Mm-hmm.
and then you'll continue to get those referrals.
Okay, so how do you foster that relationship? Because before you had said that they didn't even show up, right?
Right.
So how did you create that space where they're like wanting to refer you?
Right.
I mean, it's probably a million things, but like, what are some of the things that you do to make it be that your clients want to refer you?
I mean, it's simple. It's literally just giving so much value to what you do when you're in the transaction. They're going to remember you,
Yeah.
right? So as long as you do what you say you're going to do, and that you blow it out of the water and you stay in touch with them, they're going to remember that forever.
I love that. Wait, so how do you stay in touch typically? Like what do you do? Because there's like different touch points you can have. You said pop
Pop
buys.
buys, yes.
Not pop eyes, pop buys. But when you've been in business for 8 to 9 years, you probably have so many clients.
Yes.
So how do you create meaningful touch points with
Yeah,
clients?
of course. So as I said, we're in the relationship business. We're not in the sales business. So,
Ooh, I like that. That's a great way to talk about it.
It's true.
And it's true, because if you're in the sales business, you won't last long.
You're transaction based. And if you're going to come into this job and be very transaction based, you're not going to get very far. This is a relationship business. And if you can build the relationships and actually care about the people that you're doing, that you're working and helping, then it's going to last, and it's going to be a lasting relationship. So, one of the things that is really important, again, is to stay in touch and stay in front of your clients and show that you care. So the way that I like to look at it is every time I reach out to a client, I'm giving them a stick, or I have a stick. So let me ask you this. How easy is it for you to break one stick?
I mean, pretty easy. Yeah.
What if you have 10 sticks?
Harder, because
you have 20 sticks.
10 times harder. 20 is probably, I probably wouldn't be able to do that.
Right. So the theory is that every time that you reach out to your client or past client, friend, whatever, you're giving them a stick, right? The more sticks that you give them, the more sturdy your foundation is, and the harder it is to break that, right? So the things that I do is, I like to touch base with them every few months, whether that's just a text, seeing how they are. I will reach out to them if they have any, big events like a marriage or, a baby.
Oh, that's awesome.
Or, what have you, right? I take them to lunch. I will do these events. I do at least 2 events every year. So that's another 2. Those are big ones. And just in Popeyes, there's so many things that you can do to continue to build this relationship. Another point of that is that we have the ability to stay in front of our clients like we never could before, and it's because of social media. So just by commenting on someone's story or reaching out and messaging them, I say happy birthday every year to all of my Facebook friends. So if you're a Facebook friend, you've probably gotten a happy birthday from me.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's another one. You just stay in front of them and have meaningful conversations and building that relationship, and then that way it's not going to break.
That's awesome. That's way awesome. So for you, how many sticks do you try to have with each client?
Right. So,
and do they ever wear down? Over time, do you feel like if you touch back, because over time, it's probably there's a little bit of wear and tear on the relationship over time.
Yeah.
Not wear and tear, but just top of mind.
Yeah, I haven't really had that experience, Yeah. Sometimes I won't get an answer back, but that's fine, right? I will get a message, 6 months later and be like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for sending us that CMA. We so appreciate you. We're actually thinking about selling our house. So, they're listening and they see that you're putting forth effort. I'm not going to stop doing that. It's not going to wear somebody out by showing that you care.
Yeah.
As long as you're coming from a place of caring and not hey, you have any referrals?
Yeah.
And that's why I say I focus way more on the relationship, and I'm not asking for referrals every time I reach out to you. I just want to build the relationship.
So with that in mind, what do you do? Because you've been in the business for 8 years, right? And over time, the amount you allocate, or the amount of your business that comes from referrals versus cold calls or, cold outreach, how have you been able to foster relationships through those colder connections?
Know what? The majority of my clients now were cold calls.
That's crazy.
So, and this is what
So you were hitting the phones like crazy.
Oh yeah. And
you have a good ASMR voice then, or?
I wish. I'm still working on it. Still working on that one. No, it's just, when I first started, I'm not originally from Utah. So my base.
Where are you from?
I'm from Idaho.
Okay. Oh my gosh. But now you're a Florida girl.
I'm working on it. I'm always going to be a Utah girl. That's for sure.
Okay. You're a Utah girl.
Yes.
Do you sorry, just real quick. Do you like to ski or anything like that? Snowboard. Yes. Okay. We got to go sometime.
Yes.
Did you get a pass?
I haven't this year just because the last couple of years, I just have not gone enough to make it worth it. I got a brand new snowboard and I've used it twice.
Oh, shoot. Classic. She's too busy working on new clients, right? She's too busy building those sticks.
Exactly. So when I first got into real estate and I started doing cold calls, just because I didn't have a strong SOI, didn't have a big referral base, I started doing leads. And I started doing calls.
Yeah.
And that, I would say, probably allotted for about 70-75% of my business, to be honest.
Wow. So it was like a complete, over 8 years, it has shifted from 70% cold calls to 70% referrals.
Correct.
Just real quickly, do you feel like it is way more enjoyable having it be referrals instead of cold calls now?
Yeah, I mean, I would rather have referrals just because, that relationship is already there. They can attest to the job that I did. And then that way that referral knows that they're going to be in good hands, right?
Yeah.
With cold calls, they don't necessarily know who they're on the phone with, and they can only base what they know off of the conversation that we just had, right? Which, isn't a problem, but it's way better getting a referral.
Yep.
The turnaround and the percentage of close is
way
bigger.
higher,
Yes.
way higher.
Yeah.
Okay, so jump back into it. This is your initial jump into real estate. You were doing tons of cold calls.
Yes.
What does that look like? How many cold calls were you doing? What was your methodology? How did you not burn out? So many questions here.
Yeah, so it was definitely, what people don't understand is that real estate is not easy. And a lot of agents are not willing to put in the time and effort to do cold calls. When in reality, if you don't have a referral base or an SOI, you've got to do something and you've got to put in the work. And so as much as I hated cold calls, I forced myself to do it. I was like, you know what? I have to do this. If I'm going to be successful. These are my clients. And it would take me literally 5 to 10 minutes before I even jumped on the phone, because I used to be very shy.
Yeah.
Right.
Really?
And so that was one of my biggest struggles when I got into real estate is knowing that I've got to break out of my shell. I'm more of an introvert. I'm not an extrovert. And now it's kind of tipped the other way.
Really interesting. Like your complete like personality has shifted, or do you feel like you just are not as afraid?
I think that's a big part of it, but I'm also still very much an introvert, but I call myself an introverted extrovert because I love people, but I also love my alone time.
Yep.
And so I still sometimes have those tendencies where I don't need to be around people all the time, but I am more comfortable being, talking to a stranger. So for example, when I got into real estate, I knew that was going to be very hard for me. I was very shy, and when
it's crazy seeing you now.
No, it's not the same, but
yeah,
I wouldn't be able to go up to somebody if they didn't come and talk to me first. I wouldn't know what to say. I would freeze up. I was very nervous. I'm like, I don't know what they think about, just get in your head. But so what I did in order to get myself out of that is I forced myself to go door knocking for real estate.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay, this is the best way for me to force myself to get in front of people and have a conversation and start the conversation. So that's what I did.
No
and I was
way.
like,
so who told you to do that? Did you have like a mentor that was like, you're going to have to door knock? Or because like, I can't imagine anybody in their right mind being like, I'm afraid of people, so let me do the most scary thing I could possibly do. Like, people just don't think that way.
Yeah, I had to. I knew that that's what I had to do in order to be successful, or it wasn't ever going to go anywhere.
Wow.
And so I was at a brokerage where, they kind of taught us, they're like, hey, these are the ways that you can, find leads and deals and things like that. And one of those was door knocking. And I was like, well, it's free. So I'm going to go do that because I don't have any money. And I also need it for myself. I knew it was something that I needed to push and force myself to be uncomfortable with. And it was the same thing with phone calls. Phone calls was the same way. I'm just not right in front of them. So I would take 5 to 10 minutes and psych myself up, and I would have to tell myself.
Do you have like a pump up song or like a dance routine that you did? Like,
know what? I wish I did. That would have been so much better to watch.
Okay, so what was your like pump up? Like, how did you what was the 5 minutes look like?
Yeah, so I, the first few minutes would be, oh my gosh, I'm just nervous. Like, why am I? And then I would say,
first 5 minutes where you just tell you're like, I can't do this.
Well, I just am like, oh my gosh, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this? But then I was like, you know what? I need to stop thinking about it that way, because all of these people need my help, and they want my help, and they just don't know it yet. And we're going to be best friends after this transaction. And, one of the biggest things too is I'm like, okay, they're going to be my friend. And is this going to be worth $15,000? 100% yes.
Wow.
I'm going to get on the phone and I'm going to, I'm going to help these people.
That's a really good way of looking at it. You kind of look at the end goal And I feel like now, like looking at your clients 8 years later, you have actually brought that value into their lives.
Oh, and I'm still, and a lot of them follow me on social media too, and we're great friends. Like I love my clients. I love the people that I've met, doing these leads. Like we have a friendship now, and it's awesome. And so that's how I built it. And now those people are the ones sending me referrals because they're like, wow, that was incredible. We're so happy we met you. We're so happy we took that call. Now they're sending, all their family members, friends to me.
Yeah. I can't help but kind of relate your experience to almost like you have taken the industry and its perception and made it actually your benefit. Because I think the fact that like people don't always like have that trust, you've gone in there and like said you're going to build trust. And then also like people tend to have a hard time buying or selling houses just because like they don't understand it or it's tricky, but you've tried to make it like the best possible. And so like the negative perception of real estate has actually been to your benefit.
Oh yeah, 100%. And like I said, I mean, it all comes down to creating value and delivering results. So the way that I create value when I do these calls is, I will tell them like, hey, this is what I do. I want to sit down with you. I want to go through the buying process with you. Oh, you want to list your house? I want to sit down with you and just show you what the listing process is. That way, when you're ready, you'll be ready to rock and roll, right? Yeah. And it's just, I'm not saying, hey, hire me. I'm saying, let me just show you what the process looks like, and then we can set up a game plan for you, and then we can make you ready for whatever timeline works for you. And by doing that, a lot more people are willing to open up to you because you're not trying to sell them something. You're not trying to force them into anything. What you're saying is, hey, here's the process. Here's how you do it. Here's how I do it. Now, when are you ready? Let's set up a game plan. Let's figure out what works for you. And by coming at it that way, it's a lot different than being a salesman. Like, hire me. You need to hire me. You need me.
Yes. No, I was going to say in most sales jobs, because I've interacted with a lot of different people in different sales jobs, after a time of selling something that you don't believe in, you like start to lose your soul.
Yes.
Because you have to close yourself off because you don't actually get to be a part of the value add to clients if you're just selling all the time. So in real estate, something that I've seen is like agents like you that have been in the business for a while, but still can smile and like still have their soul and like do have a really positive relationship with their clients. The difference is they've been a part of the transformation. They've been a part of the value add, not the sale.
Right.
And obviously you're a part of the sale. Like that's like in the end, like you help with the transaction and that's where people put the price tag on your value, but that's not where your value actually was added. Your value was added along the entire way.
Right, exactly. And the other thing that's important too for agents to know, especially if you're starting out, is take the emotions out of the transaction. When you take your emotions out, you can work and be strategic.
I want to hear more about that.
Because what happens is we start to use and put in a lot of our own emotions because we really care. Our clients are getting emotional. Maybe something's not going right. The sellers don't want to agree to repairs. They don't want to come down to this price. Well, we as humans automatically we start to get emotional, whether that's emotional because our clients are getting emotional, whether that's because we're financially not struggling ourselves, and it's really hard to,
and they're like, I need you to do this.
Exactly. But you have to take emotions out of the transaction. It's a transaction. This is your job. You've got to think strategically, and you've got to figure out how to make this work without emotions involved. What is the reasonable? What is reasonable? What do we need to be doing? When do we need to say no? When is it not worth it anymore? And we need to say, look, we just need to walk away from this one, right? And you can't do that if you're so heavily involved with your emotions.
I've heard before that if you need the deal more than they need the deal, maybe you can. Do you know?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember the saying. How does it go? Do you know what I'm talking about? Have you heard that saying?
I know.
It's like if you need the deal more than they need the deal, then you're not doing it right. Basically,
100%,
like you should be able to walk away just as much as they should be able to walk away. If not, it's probably not good for you or them.
100%. Yep.
So being able to walk away when like a buyer is like either super emotional or they're freaking out, it's probably going to be the best thing even for them is if you're just able to walk away.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And the thing is too, and what we need to remember is that we are working for our clients, not for ourselves. So
wow, you've had some one-line bangers today.
Thank you. So in a situation where it may not be a good fit for the client, if things are just like keep going wrong and they're uncomfortable, that's a sign where you should back out. Or look, I'm not going to force you into anything. If this doesn't feel right to you, that is totally fine. Let's go ahead and back out, right? I'm not going to force my clients to be into something when it's just not comfortable and it's not right. It's not going to end well for anybody.
Yep.
You know?
And I think like to wrap that whole thing up is even at the close, you can't be emotional, right? Because they've probably, I mean, wasted would be a hard term because like business, you know, you don't know when business is going to come back your way. So you always got to treat people with respect, treat people kindly. But in the end, if you close and say like, wow, that person just wasted my time and like close with that emotional energy, you're probably not going to ever have them again.
And it's never a waste of time. You know, if you get into the closing table, I always am like, oh my gosh, we did it. Like this is awesome. It was tough, but we did it.
Yes.
You know, and at that point you can be emotional and be excited for your clients and you know all that stuff. But
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, is there anything else you wanted to discuss today? This has been fantastic. I feel like we've gone over tons of topics.
Yes.
And this is, I think, let me see. Yeah, we had a great discussion.
Yes, there is one thing that I want to add.
Add it.
And this is something that I have learned over time is that real estate is 90% mindset and 10% work ethic. If you don't have the mindset that you are good enough and that you're good at your job and that you have so much value to give, it's not going to work. You're not only fooling yourself, but your clients see right through it. You know, as long as you have to have the mindset of like, I'm just going to do this. I'm good at my job. I'm just, you know, work on yourself and deep inside. And what I've learned from, you know, running a team is it's 100% true. You know, people will come to me and they are just feeling very insecure. They don't feel like they are the best agent. They, you know, they have this belief in themselves that like, I can't do it because I had a bad year. So I'm not a good agent, which is 100% not true. It just means that you need to find the confidence and you need to change your mindset.
Wow, I feel motivated, honestly. Like legit, like actually just breaking it down very simply to being like, your value needs to be there in your own mind before you can add value for other people.
Exactly.
Because if you're trying to add value, but you don't actually believe you have that value, then you can't provide anything.
Exactly. And
right?
something else that's true is that if you're not 100%, you can't give 100%.
Wow.
So it's important to make sure that you yourself are 100% in order to give your clients your ultimate best value and know that you are doing it.
And that goes everywhere. Relationship, work.
Exactly.
That's amazing. I think that's a fantastic little snippet to add at the end.
Yeah, thanks.
Well, thank you so much for coming today.
thanks for having me.
This has been fantastic.